with y'all this evening. Okay, everybody lean in and push the got it. Here we go. We've all got it. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Pollock Properties Group Home Design and Preparation webinar. And my goodness, are we excited to be having this conversation with everyone tonight. My name is Vanessa Pollock, and I am super excited to be here with you. And I'd like to introduce you to the one and only Denise Payne.
Hello, I'm Denise Payne. I'm an agent on the team. We are all design nerds. I have never been so excited to do a webinar. Vanessa knows I hate being on camera, and I literally was getting ready tonight. I was like, I can't wait to talk about interior design. So
my favorite was your Facebook post today. You're like, calling all my design nerds. And I was like, yes, design nerds unite. I felt the exact same as you. I was like, we're gonna come live from our warehouse, and I'm gonna wear a necklace and even heels. I'm even wearing the design fashion because I was so excited as well. So I'm super glad that you're here. Everybody, just so you know, Denise is one of the top agents in all of New Jersey. And so she sees everything that's happening out in the field, both from a buyer perspective, but also as our top producing listing agent. So her ability to understand what's happening in the real estate market and bring that wisdom is bar none. And yet so much of what we're going to talk about has nothing to do with real estate and just has to do with all of our homes and our love of design. So thank you for being here. Yes, even though I know you hate it, I know
love it.
You love it tonight.
I love it.
And I want to introduce everyone to Kitty Giordano, our lead designer and stager on Pollock Properties.
Hi, everyone. We are live, as Denise said, from our 5,000 square foot warehouse. And this is literally where we keep all of our inventory: couches, pillows, decor, artwork,
rugs for days,
everything. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah. So we're really going to break down tonight into three topics. So this is our agenda if you're taking notes. To start, we're all three going to talk about our personal homes. And we've each been on quite a journey within each of our homes over the last few years. And so we're going to kind of share about that so you kind of understand from our perspective what that's been like. Then we're actually going to analyze the current design trends. And by analyze, I mean share our opinions, whether we agree with them or not. And then the third thing that we're going to talk about is what gets you the most bang for your buck if, in fact, you are thinking about selling your house in the next year or two, from a renovation standpoint, design standpoint, and what to do and what not to do. So that's our agenda for this evening. And as a reminder, you can throw your questions down in chat. And at the very end, after we go through those three agenda points, we'll open it up to a Q&A, and Elizabeth, who is our wizard behind the Zoom, will let us know what those questions are, and we will be answering them at the end. So let's dive in. Our homes, the three of us live in South Orange and Maplewood. And fun fact, we all moved during the pandemic.
Yes.
Remember that?
Everyone was moving. Why not?
I know.
Right? Just join the crowd.
That's right. Exactly. You and I both bought homes that ultimately became bigger projects than either of us were planning on.
Yeah.
If you follow either of us on social media, we have both named our homes, which I think is interesting. I think
I haven't.
You haven't?
No, I haven't.
You will after tonight.
I know. I'll have to pick a name.
You will. By the time I turn to you, you'll have a name picked out. And there was an article in Home Trends, I think, that just came out that said that naming your home is a trend. And I was like, oh, we've been doing that forever. So I named mine the Fixer Upper because I'm boring and I copied Joanna Gaines. But the name of your home, and tell us a little bit about your journey with the house.
We bought an 1860 to 1880, we don't know the exact age. I would say it was a fixer-upper, a Dutch colonial in South Orange. Beautiful porch, side porch, we knew when we bought it that it needed some love, and my husband's very handy. I love design. We've done many renovations in the past, so we thought, well, this is no big deal. We'll get to it. Although I will say, the day of closing, I was panicking as a realtor. I just knew instinctually this might be a lot. So we started renovating piece by piece. Long story short, I won't get into the details, but we ended up finding something that led us to decide to gut the house, which was our dream house. Beautiful old molding, old fireplaces, old railings, and it was a tough decision, but we were determined to rebuild her. And I say her because she is a family member. And I had at first said, she's so beautiful, we should name her Lady. And my husband, and this was a text thread, and he said, how about Barracuda? Because she's chewing us up and spitting us out. And so then her name came to be Lady Barracuda, which to this day, we just say her name like it's nothing. So we gutted her, we restored her. She's not done. She's very close, but it's been a whirlwind of silver linings and pushing through, disappointment and joy and all the things. Yeah.
And she's gorgeous.
And she's beautiful now.
Stunning. If you don't follow Denise on Facebook, you're going to now, because you are going to want to see Lady Barracuda. And I have questions about that, but let's talk about each of our houses, and then we'll go back to it. Kitty, talk about yours for a second, because you also moved during the pandemic.
We bought in 2021. I'm a first-time home buyer, and that was a big step, obviously, for my husband and I. And she's in great shape. We love her, but the bathroom was pretty dated. We obviously were on a small budget after just buying a home, so we didn't want to completely gut it and do a whole renovation. So we did some quick, easy updates by painting the vanity. We changed out the hardware. We redid the tile floors, got a new tub, which was really needed. And I just love it. It's just, really special to me. And now I'm like, okay, what's the next project? Even though we're still working on furnishing the whole house. But it's just been such a fun journey for me. And just, designing my whole house, figuring out what I like, what I don't like, being able to buy things and then resell them if I'm not in love with it. So it's been really special.
That's awesome. Can I just quickly say that Kitty is the most incredible designer, and she posts nothing of her house. So in the chat, if you want to put some pressure, because I'd like to see some photos.
We're going to show you one in a little bit.
One.
You are going to see one, but you're absolutely right. We need more. We need so much more content.
I'll start.
Yes,
posting more.
please do.
Thank you.
Yes. And so for us, we closed on our brand new house on March 5th of 2020, not knowing what was coming and that the world was going to shut down. And we cleared out a lot of spaces, and we ripped out a lot of floors, and started making some major changes, and then the world shut down. And so we were kind of left with a shell and not really sure what we were going to do or where we were going to live. But thankfully had contractors who were like, every other job just canceled. Can we please still work on your house? And I was like, I was gonna ask you if you felt safe, would you please still work on our house? And over the course of 90 days, they kind of put her back together. But we really we called her the fixer-upper, because Charlie and we have bought and renovated so many homes over the last 26 years we've been married. And this one felt like the biggest undertaking, but we did not quite fully understand how much we were taking on, similar to Lady Barracuda for sure. But what I was gonna say, and then I want y'all to chime in, because we moved during the pandemic, the biggest lesson that I learned during that was my family. We've got 3 kids, 2 dogs. We were moving in this time of crisis. And I made the decision in that moment to design the house so that it would feel like us. Mm-hmm. Like, I think every other property I had designed and thought about resale, and maybe made different design choices based on what I thought people would want someday, rather than really saying, no, how do I make this feel like home to the Pollocks? And And I will say it was the first home in 26 years where I made some choices design-wise that I was like, I wouldn't pick that if I was putting it on the market because I'd be playing it a little bit safer, but it has made it the first house that has felt like home to me in our 26-year marriage. So it really taught me to, if you're going to love where and how you live, to really truly lean into what you love and what design makes you feel good and brings you joy, so to speak. So let's actually go to that piece and then we'll go to the best part, worst part. But for me, we love a lot of contrast, black and white, wood and metal. And so the thing that brought me the most joy was to make those design choices that, again, were a little weird and a little out of the box, but truly just felt like us so that it would feel like home. As an example, like I have these giant black chandeliers in my dining room, and two of them that are massive. I never would have picked those, but those two light fixtures bring me so much joy, and I will show you a picture in a little bit. What brings you joy? What's the design choice you made in your home to make it feel like yours, and that has brought you the most joy out of Lady Barracuda?
I would say I'm not 100% yet where Vanessa is. I still can't lose the idea of resale, even though I know we're not selling anytime soon. I would say though, my kitchen is by far, it was gutted, obviously. So every inch of it, I got to decide like the size of the windows, the location of the windows, what windows would go in there. And I never had a kitchen where I had such a blank slate like that. And every time we go away and come back home and I walk into my kitchen, I'm like, this is my kitchen. I love it so much. So I would say, yeah, that brings me the most joy.
The kitchen,
for sure.
It brings me great joy
me
as well.
too. Definitely a dream of mine to do exactly what Denise did.
Yeah,
Be able
and
to
you
pick
can.
every single thing. Yeah.
What about you? What's brought
Mine's
you the most
definitely my new sunroom. I just redid it. I'm definitely a maximalist.
Yep.
Super eclectic. I love just curating my entire house. I'm a big Facebook Marketplace sourcer. Love secondhand things. Love thrifting. And really bright, bold colors. So you'll see a picture of that soon.
I love that. So here's what's so fascinating. We collaborate in work on all of this. And she's a maximalist, but I'm more like modern, contemporary, minimal. I mean, I'm a clutter bug, but let's not talk about that part. And yet those two coming together make a really great blend. But yeah, you'll see my house and her house, and I love that we get to collaborate. I think you bring me a lot of joy getting to work on things with you.
Well, and it's so interesting too, because I do this for a living, staging, right? So I'm always constantly telling people to pack stuff away and declutter and get rid of stuff. So I think in my house, I'm just like, no, I'm gonna put up things everywhere.
Right, exactly.
I actually have a question for both of you that I thought of. In your houses, what was your biggest save and what was your biggest splurge when you were designing things?
My biggest splurge was we took out all of the flooring in the house. One room had green granite floors. One room had one kind of laminate. One room had another kind of laminate. Another room had carpet. I mean, like, it was so hodgepodge. So our biggest splurge was taking all the floors out and putting in pale oak hardwood floors throughout the entirety of the house.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I really spent money on.
Yes. But that cohesion and it's so bright and airy.
Yeah, and my save is that I just reused all of the existing cabinets. I just rearranged them and kind of I removed a bunch, and then I reused several of them to build the kitchen island and painted them black.
Yeah.
So really the cabinetry cost me nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and you won't see Vanessa's kitchen, but you would never know that it was a facelift because it really, the tone of the wood was coming back in when you bought it. The way your hardware is like very black and modern, and the way you did like the quartz is so warm. It looks like you just did it, but you did a really good job salvaging.
Thanks.
Nice.
Thanks. I would still rather have your kitchen, darling. But I do love how we pulled it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I mean, honestly, again, my bathroom, that was my big splurge doing that. You know, we were lucky to buy a beautiful home and it didn't really need too much work, and also furnishing my house. I mean, that was a huge deal for me. I came from a small 2-bedroom apartment, and buying all that furniture is not easy.
I know, it's so expensive.
Still doing it.
It's so expensive.
Yeah.
What about you?
I like to save everywhere. So the splurge is so specific. But to be honest, my kitchen, we had custom cabinets, but they were not more expensive than Home Depot. I priced them out. We use them in our last kitchen as well. So they're beautiful, and I've recommended them to friends, but they were not a splurge. We have marble countertops, and I swear to you,
So beautiful.
I crawled around warehouses on my hands and knees because I have taste that they'd be like, this is a $30,000 slab. And I was like, bye. And then I crawled in like kind of the sketchiest warehouse I could find. And I found this beautiful marble, like behind 65 other marble slabs. And I was like, this is it. The one splurge though, I would say was the pendants. And I didn't get the large, I got the medium or the small, but I got 3 of them and I can't remember how much they cost, but to me, that was the most obvious jewelry was the pendants. And I didn't want to cheap out on those, but we have a beautiful faucet that was from Amazon. You know, things like that I really did try to save on.
Okay, so we had talked beforehand and said we wanted to share our best part and worst part of designing our current homes. And we actually, as a family, have a tradition at dinner. We talk about the best part and worst part of our day as a family. And so I love that we've like translated that now. And I know a lot of people do that, but like best part and worst part of design. So what was it for you?
Worst part, oh gosh, I would say honestly, the worst part for me is I can design a bathroom, I can design a kitchen, I can design structural, but when it comes to interiors, I know what I love. It's hard for me to translate that into like purchases and curating.
You mean like furniture?
Furniture. I mean, in art. And I would say a lot of that has to do with because I am so frugal and I want it to be perfect and I want it to be what I want, so I'm indecisive. You are the most decisive human being I know. Vanessa will take you shopping and she'll be like, this, and this. And I'm like, I'll come back next week and see if it's on sale. But yeah, it's painful for me to make a decision and
I 100%
commit.
agree. I feel like I'm so indecisive and I worry that like I'm not gonna love something like in the moment.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful and I want it, but then I go back and I'm like, do I want to live with that?
Yes.
You know, like
Right.
redoing my bathroom, or now I really want to redo my attic and I'm like, okay, do I like that? Do I want to invest in that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think this is going to come up soon here in the trends, that we tend not to want to lean into trends too much, because then that's when we feel like something becomes outdated and we've just spent money on something that then in 2 years, it's like, dang it, is that out?
Yes.
So picking timeless foundational pieces, both furniture and tile and flooring and things like that, and knowing that you can then layer on different paint colors, different pillows, different accessories to make the most of the trends, I think is really important. I think for me, the best part of designing this house was just the giving myself permission to do what I wanted to do and not have it be anything other than what Vanessa wanted, instead of like what I thought a future buyer might want. And the worst part was the pandemic. Hands down. No, it just was awful, all of it.
Yeah.
And the only silver lining was that our wonderful contractors, who we love to recommend, that we had them for 90 days straight.
Yes. Yeah.
And that they were able to crank it out so quickly. So, all right. So thank you all so much. That wraps Act 1 of our agenda. Now we're going to talk through the design trends. And here's what I'm going to do. Everybody's heard that ChatGPT is like a big thing. AI is where it's at right now. So what we did is we asked AI, what are the biggest design trends happening right now? And then we wanted to just share that with you and tell you if we think it's right or not, if we think we're seeing that or not, and if it's something to consider or maybe not. So I'm gonna read these off and then y'all tell me yes or no, okay? Number one is biophilic design. Let me spell that for you, BIOPHILIC. Biophilic design is integrating natural elements into interior spaces to create a connection with the outdoors. This can include using natural materials, indoor plants, and maximizing natural light. What do you say?
Correct. I agree.
You agree?
Yes. I feel like you're seeing that everywhere with, I mean, anything. Natural wood elements, wallpapers, certain light fixtures.
Yep. Yep.
Even brass. I mean, I was thinking about this, that brass has come back in so much, and I do think that brass has a warmth that grounds a space.
Yep.
An example?
Look at what what is it, Kitty?
Is that a decorative object that you can put on a coffee table?
I think that's pronounced decorative objet. So we were like, do we have these things in our staging inventory? Why, yes, we do. This was one of the more bizarre of the biophilic design, integrating natural elements in. But we were like, we're using all kinds of plants, grasses, and then that reclaimed wood for sure.
Yeah.
Objet.
I mean, honestly, because we've had so much black and white and gray in the past few years, that to me is just the warmth element.
Yes.
And I think often when I see spaces where people are like, oh, black and white is in, and it feels like it's missing something, that's what it's missing. And I think
agree.
if you have a space where you walk in and you're like, why doesn't it feel cozy? I bet if you pulled in a few wood pieces or pampas grasses, that would feel so homey.
Good. Okay, so we agree with biophilic design. Number two, sustainable and eco-friendly design, which is incorporating eco-conscious materials and practices into interior design, such as reclaimed wood, energy-efficient appliances, and eco-friendly paints. Are you seeing that trend? Do you agree?
Don't make me the bad guy. No, not much. I mean, some people do like the Lovac paint.
Yep.
I like inexpensive paint. I like to find a place with the cheapest paint. I'm sure maybe in the West. Yes, I'm not here. I don't see it here. Sorry, I don't see it here. In
For anyone who doesn't know, we're sitting in northern New Jersey, half an hour outside of New York City. So yes, we are solidly on the East Coast. I'm going to have to agree with Denise. I think in essence, I think we're all being very mindful now about composting. That's not design, that's more home function. There's a great compost company in our area called Java's Compost. Hi guys, if you're here. And so we're seeing it more in the function side, but when it comes to design, I don't walk into Riccardi's paint store on Springfield Avenue and go to the eco paint. I go to the counter and like Denise, I'm like, what's the cheapest gallon of Benjamin Moore Simply White I can get, please? So what do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Same, okay. All right, number three, minimalism. I'm surprised minimalism is number 3 on the AI design trends list. I would have thought it was higher, actually. Oh, gave my answer away there, because I agree with it. This is emphasizing simplicity and functionality with clean lines and a clutter-free environment. Now, what do you think? Because you just said you're the maximalist.
Yeah,
so
I think yes and no. I think it is still in. People are saying it's on its way out. The new thing is Minilux. So investing in.
I can't keep up. Minilux?
Minilux.
Is that the new hashtag?
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Minilux. So, being minimal, but then getting a giant, beautiful light fixture or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
To make a statement.
Oh, interesting. All right, I've been in your house. I'm pretty sure I know where this is going. Minimalism. D. Payne, what do you say?
I am a minimalist, like obsessive, but I am very messy. To be honest, I was thinking about this.
Nope, before you keep talking, we're giving you a slide right now. We're gonna screen share and show you Denise's second floor. and then a pull-in detail of her dresser so that you can see, is there mess there? Okay, keep talking.
That's a hallway. Behind that door is my dirty laundry, probably. Now, for me, and I've heard minimalism is going out as well. I read that last week. Then I thought, how can minimalism go out? That's not even a style. Minimalism is a way of life. And I think for so many of us who are busy and have children, I know you are like this too, is that your brain can't function well when spaces are cluttered. And so for me, it hurts my brain. I cannot function. It weighs on me. So I love nothing on my surfaces. I love as little, my poor children, they do have toys, I swear. They are just and this is what I want to say. Everything has a home. Everything has a space. That is the key. Find a home to all of your stuff.
Yeah.
That way you don't have clutter.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's so true. It is a way of life.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It is. And sometimes your home for your stuff is an entire room that you can just shove it in and have piles of things in and close the door.
Yeah.
But then you don't have to see it. So it's interesting. Charlie and I had a rule, a first floor rule in our house when the kids were little. Once they could navigate the stairs safely up and down on their own, we said there can be no toys on the first floor. Everything, we had an upstairs playroom, they had their bedrooms, and they had the full basement playroom. But we just said, y'all get all these other spaces, toys go to those other 3 zones. This zone is the toy-free zone. And it really, it was great.
Now they read voraciously.
They do.
They never had toys on the first floor.
Because they weren't allowed to play. I mean, reading's not so bad, though.
Not, yeah.
Now we
I'm
just have
trying
piles and piles of books everywhere. That's what I don't know what to do with. What's interesting, though, is I do want to show a slide now of a home that we have for sale. We actually have 3 homes for sale that are new construction in Maplewood, and they are of the minimalist style. And so Denise and Kitty actually helped these builders to design this kitchen and the bathrooms in these homes. It's a 1-block neighborhood of 4 homes. 3 are currently on MLS, and if you're on Zillow, you can go check them out. But is there anything you want to say about how you chose to design this kitchen as it pertains to minimalism?
I mean, I think just keeping it really clean and simple, going with the all white, and the brass details, and a beautiful pot filler and faucet, but just really keeping it clean and simple.
I know for us too, what you can tell in here is that it actually looks really bright and modern, but it's very classic and warm when you're in the space.
Yeah.
And that was a goal of ours, is so that when people walked in, because Maplewood, we have a lot of older homes. So people love the charm of the 20s and the 30s. This is a new build. So we wanted to really pull in a lot of that classic feel so that even though it's a new build, it felt warm and charming. But yes, like Kitty said, very clean.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said earlier, the brass, like a brushed brass, brings some warmth in, even when the whole thing is white, along with that marble backsplash. So that one, well done, ladies. It's really beautiful. Thanks. Okay, number 4 design trend is vintage and retro. So it's the incorporation of elements from past eras, such as mid-century modern furniture and vintage decor. What say you? Oh, I love it so much. We all love it so much, right?
Yeah.
Love it. We're such nerds for the layering of eras.
I mean, I don't even know that I'm good at it, but Facebook Marketplace,
it's addictive.
It's addicting. When I can't sleep at night, as often, I get on Facebook Marketplace and I look up antiques and vintage, and I love the juxtaposition between the vintage and the modern, and even like mid-century paired with like turn of the century, and having it be so eclectic is so layered and so interesting. And then I was thinking back, because I used to style homes back before I moved out here in Brooklyn, and really creative. When you went in those townhouses and those beautiful brownstones, a lot of those artists had that just naturally, organically did that. And I think now it's actually becoming a style, which I love so much.
Yeah, agreed.
And I just love that you can literally source anything online and thrift stores, anywhere, whatever you want. I mean, it's readily available.
For sure. And if you're local here, just a big old shout out to the Merc, the Maplewood Mercantile, y'all. If you have not been in to visit our friends there, well,
look at it, it's so beautiful.
I know. So first of all, go follow Maplewood Mercantile on Instagram. You can see their handle there at the top. This is not a paid advertisement. This is
Just
one design fan nerd wanting to be sure that this business stays around for a very long time. So Amy and her team go out and they like source things from estate sales all over the Northeast and bring it back to the Merc in Maplewood. It's right by the fire station and the train station. So definitely check them out. I just go in there and just like walk around and I'm like, I want to buy everything every week. Yeah. I wish our whole warehouse was the Merc, right? Yes. How fun would that be?
And they have furniture, jewelry, vintage clothes, greeting cards. Yeah, great assortment.
Yeah, but you can get that mid-mod chair pair that was something, from Facebook Marketplace, and then, do a little Swedish IKEA number, and all of a sudden you've got that mix. Okay, so number 5 design trend is bold colors and patterns. Using vibrant and contrasting colors as well as bold patterns to create eye-catching interiors is in or out? Do you agree?
So I was not going to agree, just personally, but then Kitty brought up a listing we had on Prospect last year where our seller, she had amazing taste and she did funky wallpaper in every room that she got at Target. And when she told me that, I almost fell over. And she did cool paint colors on various walls. So then I thought, I do actually.
That was it. Yeah, here it is.
Yes,
this is her house.
That is her house. How cool is that? Now, so in theory, I don't love the idea, but this I do love. I thought
love
that
the
was
idea. Awesome. I think the more wallpaper, the better.
Yeah, I do love wallpaper.
Love wallpaper.
Yeah. I'm usually a no on all of this because I'm so super black and white. But when Kitty and I were designing the bathrooms for the warehouse recently, we used wallpaper and we used the craziest wallpaper they're both all gender bathrooms. But in the second bathroom, that is like mushrooms and eyeballs.
Yeah.
Like it's such a weird pattern and I love it so much.
So cool.
So I thought I would say no, but in reality, we'll have to post a picture of that later so y'all can see that. If you're into bold patterns and into color and you feel like that's your jam and you're looking for somebody to help you with color consultation, like you love it, but you don't know where to start, I just want to introduce you to my friend Maddie Shaw, who here you'll be able to follow. Her Instagram is Shapes for the People. She's quite the color artist, both in the sense of quilts and murals, but mostly as it pertains to this topic as a color consultant. So definitely follow her. There's only nearly 15,000 people who agree with me and follow her because she is no joke and would be here to help y'all execute that plan nationwide, wherever you are. Be sure to follow Maddie. And hi, Maddie, if you're here with us right now. Okay, number 6, mixed materials. This is combining different textures and materials like metal and wood or glass and stone to add visual interest to a space. What do you think, Kitty?
100%. Yes. I think you see that especially in kitchens, mixing different materials, hardware.
Cue the kitchen image.
Different stones. Yeah, for sure.
Now, do they mean stone means countertop? Because to me, when they say stone, I picture that fireplace facade that people were putting on in the 90s, and I'm like, stone.
No, I think different. Yeah.
They mean like marble stone.
Marble and limestone and soapstone.
Oh, I can get into that. Oh, soapstone. Okay, you got me.
So I think it's like this. You've got marble, you've got dark wood, you've got reclaimed wood in like the chrome. I think there's some brass in this kitchen somewhere as well. And then isn't that rug an integrated tile into the wood?
It wasn't, but that would be amazing. A rug.
All right, well, we should do that.
Yeah. It's a brilliant idea.
We're full of great ideas.
I do love that.
Ooh. Okay, all right, let's keep going. Go back to that slide. Maximalism. You heard it here. it. Kitty loves it. And we promised you a picture of her sunroom. There it is. Kitty, what do you think?
Yes, 100%.
It's
The
brilliant.
more color, the better for me. I wallpapered my ceiling. I did stone blue Pharaoh and ball. And I kind of just went crazy. I sourced that desk on Facebook and repainted it.
Yeah, that is such a beautiful example of maximalism, which is the definition on the design trends as number 7 is embracing a more eclectic and opulent style with an abundance of decor, patterns, and colors. And my gosh, you nailed that. You
So
nailed it,
beautiful.
right?
Yeah.
So good. Okay, let's move on to number 8, which is smart home technology is the number 8 design trend. That's integrating technology into the interior design by using smart lighting, thermostats, and entertainment systems. So I want you just to talk for a second because what are you seeing in the field? And again, this isn't a real estate conversation, but we see a lot of houses. So we know whether things are actually existing in houses or not. Is this happening or not?
Very much so.
Yeah.
We actually have a listing right now where they're friends of mine, and he went through everything that was smart in the house on the phone. And I said, can you put that in writing? And we'll bullet point that, because it was so much. I mean, even the under cabinet lighting was connected to something smart. I mean, it was extensive. And there are people, yes, that are just very technologically advanced in that way.
Yeah.
And Boyden, our listing at Boyden, it's a new build, so obviously they had a lot of opportunity, and they put in like a smart doorbell, smart garage door opener, smart thermostat, smart light switches. All of the outlets are USB, smart. I mean, pretty much everything that they could that was functional was smart.
And so this was actually kind of a screenshot from one of the brochures that was made for the new construction homes at Vicinage is the name of the subdivision at 239 Boyden Ave. And we bold printed the smart home attributes because it is something that is showing up. It's happening in new construction. We're seeing people replace things into having smart features. And then the buyers really, really appreciate it because it's just one less thing for them to want to do. So
can I just complain though? The smart Ring doorbell, why do you have to charge it? Does anyone else have that? When it stops working?
You have to use the batteries. So recharge the batteries.
Mr. Ring, if you're watching, I want a solar. There's a solar? Okay, I'm getting that one next because no one told us, and we were like, why doesn't our doorbell work? I mean, it's smart. It was not smart.
Well, it's Zoom, so that means everything is being listened to around the globe. So someone's
I'm sure he cares
looking at this transcript, and now when we see the Ring come out, it'll be the Denise Payne model.
Thank you.
Yep,
I'll take it.
Okay, number 9 is design trend is customization. And that is designing spaces to reflect the individual preferences and personality of the homeowner. And I say, amen, hallelujah. I finally saw the light after nearly 3 decades and have made a home feel customized to my personality. So like my dining room, I mentioned to y'all, I put in these like massive black chandeliers. You can see, they don't look so big in that picture, but we did 2 of those. And then a big piece of art that has since changed because a client actually was at Home Goods and was like, I saw this art and it reminded me of you. And I literally ran straight to Home Goods that day and bought them. And she was absolutely right. But really just having the space feel as much like our family as we wanted it to. So much so, I mean, this might be inappropriate, but you can see the portrait in the background. We joke that that's a portrait of Kenny Loggins. And so there's a much longer story there, but we do have a portrait of Kenny Loggins and a link to listen to Kenny Loggins on Spotify hanging on our wall because the Pollocks are a little weird. But we wanted just to make it feel like home and feel like us. And so I say yes.
I mean, a friend said this to me, a friend who's big into design said this to me a few years ago, and she said, you have to, if you love it, I think I was asking her advice, if you love it, that's all that matters. And that is very freeing because I think we can second guess our choices. And at the end of the day, you really have to think through, like, does that make me feel good? When I see it, does it make me happy? And there's a quote, and I can't think of exactly what it is, just about how make your home so that people feel welcome and people feel good and you feel good in your space. And really, that is all that matters.
Yeah, because if your home brings you joy and you love to be in it, then that's the spirit you're going to give off when you have people come into your home. And one of the core values of our family is to show radical hospitality, right? And so like we want kind of an open door policy, and so making the house feel like us so that we're excited to have people into it, and also kind of living in the tension of people are going to pop by and I'm going to have piles of laundry there, and being okay with that has also been a big part of my journey as a dysfunctional realtor who thinks my house should look like a staged home all the time, which is not real life. It's not how it goes, but like loving it regardless of the piles of laundry is just also recharges all of our batteries when we go home, because the world is like chaotic. There's a lot, and you want to go home and be able to exhale and recharge.
It's also a process too. I think accepting that home is never done. Your home, because you are going to change and evolve, and your style will change and evolve. And to let go of that finished product and just accept that the fun of it is continuing to curate what you love. And there's no end in sight.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, the last number 10 design trend is multifunctional furniture. Now, this is using furniture that serves multiple purposes to maximize space in smaller living areas. Are you seeing that?
Honestly, not really. Yeah, I can't really think of a good example of that.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Yeah. No, but it makes me want to buy TV trays, because as you were saying that, I was like, we're like sitting on a couch at a desk, and I was like, that's a TV tray. Like, those were great.
They actually were really good.
Yes, we should have those again. We're bringing them
Did
back.
you ever have, it was like a beanbag underneath with the flat surface on top, and you could do your homework on your lap on it?
I know what you're talking about. Yes, I did not have
We
one.
should bring those back.
Yes.
But as I thought about this one, and you actually mentioned this the other day, you were like, when people move out to our suburbs, they actually are typically leaving apartments in Brooklyn and New York City, and they're able to get bigger furniture. They don't need the multi-use furniture anymore. So we don't really see it in our area because it's no longer in need. But if you're in a more urban setting, then absolutely, I bet that would be one of the top design trends that you'd see in apartments. Okay, great. How are we doing on time? Great. We are crushing it. That was the end of Act 2. Now we're moving on to Act 3. Now, listen, this is not, I was going to say a podcast. It's not a podcast. This is not a webinar about selling your home. However, we did have a lot of people ask us to give best practices for what would give them the biggest ROI, return on their investment, when it comes to designing their home, to love it for now, and to be smart about it when they go to sell the house someday. Because that someday may be next year. It might be in 20 years. And hopefully already what we've talked about, you might have picked up is like foundational classic pieces that then you can layer the trends on top of. I'm gonna have Kitty in just a second kind of go through best practices if you are considering making the move. And then Denise is gonna really drill down on what she's seeing has the highest ROI out in the field. But before that, I did want to announce that we have launched a program called the P7. The P7 for Pollock Properties Group is a way to keep selling your home as simple as possible. And here are the 7 Ps that we are here to project manage, to help you pack, purge, and prepare your home for market, to which then we help you strategically price it, and then we present it to the market with our staging and our marketing plan in order to, number 7, give our sellers peace of mind that you know you did everything possible to make top dollar on your home in today's market. So please stay tuned to all of our social media and our spaces, because we're going to be rolling out programs that include the packing, include the purging, include all of that, because we already project manage and include design and staging. But there's just that additional level of service that we want to be able to offer our clients as it pertains to the packing, the purging, and all the preparation. So we're excited to be rolling that out. In the meantime, if somebody does want to start thinking about getting ready in the next couple of years, let our viewers know what those best practices are, please.
Definitely. So I think the most important thing is to try to take the emotion out of it as much as possible. It's obviously a very emotional time, but you have to remember you're not doing this for yourself.
Wait, I just designed my house for me and I love it so much.
Right.
Right.
But you're not staying in this house. It's
That's
not
right.
for you.
It's not mine anymore.
So we really want to turn it into a product that we can market. So you want to start with, obviously, like Vanessa said, packing, purging, get rid of anything you don't want. You can donate things, put things in storage, but try to make it a simple, clean slate.
Minimal?
Minimal as much as possible. Yeah, you'll want to declutter, get rid of any personal items, personal photos, anything like that. If you need extra help, book an organizer or a packer if needed. Then you'll
wait for our program to roll out.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Then if you're working with us, we can help you update your light fixtures, hardware, anything that we might recommend. We'll put that in a whole report for you, and you'll want to start ordering all of those items. Then you'll want to book a painter for any painting that you need to do, any repairs, if you have cracks or anything that we'll definitely want to take care of before we list, you'll definitely want to do that. Tidy and minimize closets. So you can have things in your closets, but the more minimal, again, the better, so people can really view,
I'm so trending. I feel so good hearing this. I'm like, do you feel so seen? Really? Wait, are you selling your house?
No.
Okay, no. Lady Barracuda is not for sale.
No.
Yeah, so this way, people can really see how much space you have. Then you'll want to clear off all countertops. So everything in your kitchen needs to go.
My countertops are not clean.
Your microwave, your toaster, put them in your basement, put them in your garage, all of that, so people can really see what a beautiful kitchen that you have. You can book a storage unit if you need extra space, and then pack away valuables. That's definitely something. Obviously, people will be coming in your home that you don't know, and just in case, you never know, you just want to make sure those are all put away. And then you want to book a cleaner right before you do photos and staging. It's important for your house to be sparkly clean, as well as a window washer, so your windows are nice and pretty.
Yep, that's awesome. So as Kitty said, there are methods to the madness in terms of how we're able to help our sellers really get top dollar. We've seen some profound responses in the market in the last, honestly, 17 years. We've been committed to preparing homes and staging them for market. And it does make a huge difference. Our sellers see up to 10% more than if they didn't prepare and stage the house. And they certainly sell faster, which is really nice, because who wants to live in a house where you have to get ready for showings endlessly? It's really nice to have that go really efficiently. But let's hear from you, Denise, in terms of when you're with buyers in the field and they're looking at homes, what are the most important things to them that make them go, yeah, I want to buy that house, and then how that translates over to the seller in terms of, the return on their investment for those things.
Yeah, I mean, so many things. I think condition is extremely important. If you know that you're in your house 5-10 years, keep up with things. When plaster cracks, just patch it. Floors, things like that I think tend to get worn down. Just keep up year over year. And also, return on investment, I would say, as far as big renovations, the saying kitchens and baths sell homes is actually quite true. If you know that you're in a house for 5 years, you want to do the kitchen for yourself, but you're going to sell in 5 years, I would be cautious, about what you choose. I wouldn't get the fluorescent pink cabinets. I would make classic choices.
Yeah.
I mean, and a classic can still be cool and fun. It doesn't mean they have to be white and they have, you know, I don't think it has to be white. I think it can be fun. It can have some other colors involved, but I would just, you know, just be aware of what's happening and what really suits the architecture of your home.
Yeah.
And honestly too, facelifts, like we do them all the time. We have sellers paint cabinets and change hardware and change light fixtures. And it's a massive difference that sometimes can be $10,000 to $12,000 for a whole house paint. And I mean, it really is night and day what the house will look like. And it can take 2 weeks. And I just had a listing, a dear friend of mine, I told them, you know, as is, if we don't touch it, we're probably around a listing around 500 to 550. They did a 2-week, they allowed us to do full paint, and Kitty did the full roadmap for them, and they leaned in. And we listed in the mid 600s, mid to upper 600s, and they got it. So that's a huge return.
That's like a 15%
Oh
or
yeah,
more return.
oh yeah. I mean,
and what do you think their budget, what did they end up spending? Around 10,000,
I
right?
would say around 15.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 15
But they
to
did a
get,
lot.
Yeah.
to get, to maybe get 150,000 more.
Yeah. That math tracks, y'all.
It does, it's
that
worth
math
it.
tracks.
Yeah.
But I think what I want to kind of lean into here is what we talked about was loving how you live in your home now and making it yours. If you know you're on a 10-year plan in your home, make it what you want it to be. Like Charlie and I, when we did all these things to our house, we were like, you know what? We're on at least a 10-year plan. When we get to the 10-year mark and it's time to sell the house, we'll do the $10,000 facelift. It's at that point that we'll go, okay, what is today's trend? We'll pick that color, we'll put in those lights, we'll just follow the design roadmap to the market of the moment and the design trend of the moment, make it exactly what the buyer for our property is going to be, what they want, and just love it in the meantime. But again, like you said, we've got classic foundational cabinets that, you know, suit the style of the home and can take paint in 10 years when it's time to paint them, whatever the trend of the moment is. But it is the maintenance piece of it, I think is a really big thing, because then when you get to the end of that 10-year road and it's time to put the house on the market, if you've kept up with the general maintenance, that's why that number can then be sometimes only 5,000 to get it ready to come to market, because you've really done everything, and it is a coat of paint, and it's packing and purging. Speaking of packing and purging, here's the thing that I just want everybody to understand. If you're thinking about selling your house, that means you've chosen to move. You're going to pack to move. So all we actually do is come in and ask you to do it at the beginning of the process instead of at the end. And that effort in and of itself is what makes such a huge difference. So for Denise's friend, she was just talking about, they literally went ahead and moved like 90% of their items into storage and into other places, so that then we could bring in our staging inventory of today. And now they're packed. Like when it's time to move, technically they're like, oh wait, I'm done. I already did it, and I made $150,000 more than I was expecting if I hadn't done it. So it's just mentally making the decision to say, you know what, it behooves me to go ahead and purge, pack, donate, make your kids come and get the things out of their old rooms if they're off at college or like grown and flown, like I call my oldest, like come get your stuff, right? And then you're able really just to have us come in and put the earrings on the dress that you, the jewelry on to get you top dollar.
And the worst thing is, you know, to pack a bunch of stuff that you know you're not going to want at your next house, and then you've gone through all that trouble to move stuff that you know you'll never need. So why do that to yourself?
And so many of our clients right now are downsizing. You know, they're in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they know that they're moving into a smaller space. And just simplifying the process and helping them make those decisions up front, And we've got ways to help people make those decisions and get them donated to a wonderful nonprofit that helps furnish homes for people transitioning out of homelessness. It's mostly refugees, but we help our sellers and can come and pick up those items, put them in our box truck and get them over to the nonprofit or arrange the nonprofit to come and get it.
Yeah.
It's just when you're in preparation mode and you're able to take your time, it actually can be a more thoughtful process than if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm moving in a week.
Yeah.
It's all got to go in a landfill.
Yeah.
And then it feels really, really stressful.
Yeah.
So doing it slower and thoughtful in the beginning of the process makes you more money and actually is emotionally a lot easier. Not easy, but less difficult to navigate.
Yeah, ask for help. I mean, that is the thing. There's so many connections that we have to people that do help you pack and organize, and it feels really overwhelming to people who have been in their homes 20 years, 30 years. And I understand it. You know, I went through it with my mom, and it can paralyze you. So don't let that happen. You know, really lean into resources, because there are a lot of people that will help make that a smooth, easy transition.
Us. We will. Yeah. Okay, I know we're running out of time. Are there any questions that came in from chat? Last call for any questions, if anybody had anything that they wanted to throw in.
Biophilic, anyone? Questions about biophilic?
Biophilic design. Should we grab another objet decor?
Some more pampas grasses. I guess we answered everything.
Do we have any time left? Because we do have some before and after pictures, which we know people love. So quickly, let's just go through a couple of these. And Kitty, just tell us real quickly what our clients did in each of these homes.
So this was a very fun one. We obviously painted the cabinets here. We changed out the hardware. They had a very old stove, so we helped them update their appliances. We got rid of the valance. We painted the entire room and changed the faucet.
Awesome.
It looks beautiful.
It does.
It's great.
This is the same kitchen. They had a little eat-in nook there, but we really wanted to open up the space, so we just got rid of that, painted the trim, got rid of the wallpaper.
And the cabinets were actually a color called Evergreen Fog that we were trying to match their backsplash, but do something fun.
Yeah.
So another, just so you know, it doesn't always have to be white.
Right.
This is, it's more green than it looks in the picture, but it's really beautiful in person.
Here you are.
That's an after.
The before is hideous.
Oh my gosh, hold on.
Ooh.
It's coming.
This is the recap.
It's
This
still
is
all,
the
it's all
recap.
eye candy.
I know.
So I still love looking at it.
I don't know what's going on. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
There we go. Next round. Yay. Speaking of packing and purging.
Yeah, I mean, they did it all, honestly. They got rid of everything. It was really amazing. So here we changed out an old light fixture to the left there, if you can see that. We got rid of all the wallpaper in the dining room, got rid of the curtains, and brought in staging.
And just look at, just taking your curtains off.
I know.
Yeah,
Makes
just
a
let
huge
the
difference.
light in.
Yeah.
Light and bright.
Yep, for sure.
So this one, this is their living room. They really weren't using it as a living room. We wanted to help them, again, pack and purge. So they got rid of all the toys. We moved them to the basement and kind of just helped them rearrange their furniture so we could present it as a living room.
Because that's the thing, we really need to present homes in the function that's cast the widest possibility for future buyers as possible. And so not everybody would create a first floor toy room. And so, but everybody does want to know where their living room would be.
You sure don't.
No first floor toys here, y'all. Nope. Absolutely not.
This was a really sweet, small family room, and their furniture was just a little bit bulky, kind of, a few random pieces. So we asked them to clear it out, and we made a little conversation.
That's so pretty. And I love how you can see the fireplace.
Yes.
Yeah. And as you can see
opens
here,
it up.
we didn't make them take down the wallpaper. We didn't paint. We didn't do anything. It's really just, again, packing, purging, so we could stage it.
All of that is our staging inventory, actually. They were able to, move that out and let us move in.
Yeah.
Okay, I think maybe Nope, that was
Wait,
it.
That was
oh my
it.
gosh, wait, there is one more. Slide 15. Hold, please.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Now I
this
don't
is gonna
remember
be
what
so
slide 15
exciting.
is.
What is slide
Boom.
15?
Surprise.
No, we did that one.
We did that one.
No, we
Oh, there we go.
So same thing, we used their light fixture because it was pretty cool. We told them to clear off that whole wall, just threw one coat of paint on it, got rid of their dining room table and their officey chairs to actually make it a dining space.
Yeah, we really played up the mid-century modern in this space because in this breakfast nook and kitchen area, you can't see it here, but 2 walls of the space are all glass. And it was actually an addition put on the house in the 1960s. So we played that up with that mid-century modern table, and we've got the mid-mod chairs in our inventory. So really
Really neat
I think it
house.
worked great. All right, well, we went 3 minutes over. So thank you all so much for spending the evening with us. I hope that this was an enjoyable time for all of you. I know.
I'm like, I could go on.
I know.
Just
there
kidding.
questions in the chat?
Great job. That was super fun.
Oh, good. Thanks,
thanks.
y'all. We are gonna, like I said, put this on YouTube, and maybe we'll do it again. If there is an aspect of something that you heard tonight that you would love us to go into more detail on, that you'd like to learn more about, we're putting together our education and training curriculum for 2024 because Pollock Properties Group is here to help educate our clients and our community to make great decisions as it pertains to their homes and the community and life and design and all the things. So if there's something that you particularly would like to learn more about, please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know so that we can be sure to touch on that in the weeks and months to come. But the last thing I'll say is save the date. December 1st is the 10th annual holiday concert, which we are raising money for the Vanessa Pollock Music Initiative, which is a fund managed by the Achieve Foundation. We are now in our 9th school year where Pollock Properties Group and you, our community, fundraise to make sure that every single child in the Maplewood South Orange School District has access to a band and orchestra instrument for the whole school year. So we hope that you'll join us on December 1st. If you don't get our newsletter, be sure to get it. Email us back from your Zoom and let us know. But the registration link will be in tomorrow morning's newsletter. We just launched it. Reserve your seats. Seats are limited. We can only fit 360 people in the space. The year before COVID, we had almost 800 people. So wow. I know it was nuts, but we're excited to be live in person, and we hope that you'll join us and that we can see you in person and give you a hug that night. Thank you all so much for being here, and we look forward to seeing you around town soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Coming in close. Bye.